Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You are watching Food for Thought with Barbara Cooking-Diva. Yeah, that's me, your culinary nutritionist and chef. You're in a safe place where I take on the 4 major F's in my life and perhaps your life too. That's faith, family, finance, and of course, food. So wagwan, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that like button if you like my content, if you like the information that I give and share with you guys, and subscribe. Turn on that notification button so you will get notified whenever I upload a video, and join in the fun in my kitchen. So you know, every Sunday I cook up a meal. Sunday's kind of like my cooking day. So, major cooking day that is. I am a teacher, so I don't have a lot of time after work to be in the kitchen cooking every evening, so I don't. You know, I cook enough that it lasts a couple of days and then I cook again. So today I'm cooking one of my personal favorite dish. I love this dish, and it was my father's favorite meal as well. Those of you who have been following me for a while, you know what dish this is. We're going to do Tun Cornmeal and yellowtail snapper. Oh yeah, baby, it's going down today in this kitchen. So I got this really fresh, just really nice yellowtail snapper from the fishmonger. And I am going to brown stew these guys and pop it off with some Tun Cornmeal. In Italian, it is polenta. And I love polenta. I love making it. And I'm gonna show you where I flavor my polenta quite a bit, even beyond what we do in Jamaica when they make Tun Cornmeal. That's how we describe that dish. Here in America, Italian cuisine, it's polenta. So I have my cornmeal and I'm gonna get that going later. But I usually add some vegetables, some diced bell pepper, some onions and garlic, finely diced, and then I hit it with a little bit of mozzarella. And I have a white sharp cheddar that I'm gonna put in it and season with all kinds of spice just to elevate the flavor a little bit. So that's what's going down today. So we're going. It's 2021, New Year's. If you didn't catch my last video, Happy New Year. If you're watching this today, I am so happy that you have stopped by, and I wish you will come again and join the fun here on Food for Thought. So you may notice I have with me, I have a cocktail line, Divalicious cocktail. You can get this delicious blend of all natural flavors at divaluscious.com. At divaluscious.com. You can purchase it on my online store and it will be shipped out to you. I have this order ready to be shipped out to a customer. Yeah, Diane, thank you for your order. These babies are on their way to you. She ordered the pineapple coconut mojito flavor and the Mary Berry flavor. So these are on divaluscious.com, Divalucious, Divaluscious. That's me. All right. So I'm gonna get down to business. What's going on with you guys? Made any New Year's resolution, any New Year's plan? How is it working out? Anybody try starting a new diet, maybe adding some exercise in? What's going on? We are going with Uno. Yeah, I've gone back on a nutrition plan that I developed years ago to help to reset the metabolism when things get off track during the holiday time, when I get really happy and I eat whatever I want to eat. I get back on this plan that I created. So I'm eating a carb controlled diet. I do still eat carb, but they're a healthy carb, and I control the amount of carbohydrate, but my protein is kicked up. So I have my fish, my healthy fat. I have organic coconut oil, so that's cold pressed coconut oil. That's another healthy fat. And I eat a ton load of vegetables, right? Now, vegetables do have carbohydrate along with other essential nutrients. However, there are some low carb vegetables. And I'm gonna be making garlic pan roasted asparagus. I'm first gonna blanch them, shock them in an ice bath that I have prepared here. And then that would be my vegetable. Asparagus are really, really rich in nutrients. So we have a lot going. My bell pepper is gonna go in my polenta, Tun Cornmeal, with my onion diced fine. I have some scallions. So I have all my earth food to really boost the nutrient value of this dish, but at the same time, I get the culinary value of these herbs and spices. So what pagwa. So we are going to get started right now. So I have my asparagus. I cut off the ends and I'm about to put them in some boiling water. I'm only gonna let them come to a boil for about a minute before I take them out and immediately put them in an ice bath. This is to shock the vegetables and stop the cooking process so that I retain the nutrients in them and they're still nice and crunchy. I don't like my asparagus very loopy. In fact, they ought to be just tender enough, but nice and crunchy, so that when I give them a light toss in the pan, just to roast them a little bit with a little bit of garlic, we're set. All right, so the asparagus are in. Let's start working on seasoning my yellow snapper, and then I am going to work on the vegetables that I'm going to add to the polenta, Tun Cornmeal, that I'm going to make. So let's season the snapper. Look how nice they are. So nice and fresh. I love it this way. I'm also going to heat a couple of tablespoons of cold pressed coconut oil. I love cooking with coconut oil, the organic cold pressed coconut oil. Lots and lots and lots of nutritional benefits. It's a healthy fat, plus the flavor is so good. You know, we grew up with coconut oil, and there's been so much said about coconut oil. It's good, it's not good, blah, blah, blah. And then later on, studies find that it is actually a healthy option as fat. It does have a higher smoke point, as you can see. So that's going on. And right about now, I'm going to remove those asparagus that I put in and put them in this ice bath. And this would have taken care of blanching. So what I just did is a cooking process or a cooking method known as blanching, where you submerge your food, most times vegetable, in boiling water. Let it just boil no more than a minute or two, and then you immediately shock it and put it in an ice bath. That will stop the cooking process but it will also leave your asparagus nice. So you see I can bend it, but I can't break it off, which means that it's blanched really properly and I don't have to worry about having cooked away all the nutrients. So asparagus done for now. I'm gonna give it a little treatment later on by sauteing in a little bit of garlic in the pan, do a quick pan roast. Let's get back to seasoning the fish and we can start working on these bad boys. How about that? All right, I'm gonna season those fish. All right guys, so I have a fish season blend of herbs and spices that I'm gonna use to season my fish. And then I'm gonna get ready to go ahead and fry them in the pan and get started in 2 seconds. All right, so these have salt and pepper and the fish season blend. Let's put these bad boys in the pan. And here we go. So my fish is going on, doing its thing. I'm gonna let it brown on one side for about 3 minutes, and then I'm gonna flip it over and let it brown on the other side for another 3 minutes. So asparagus is done, the fish is cooking. Let's work on the polenta. I'm gonna first dice my vegetables really, I'm gonna give it a small dice, and then I'll start working on the polenta. So guys, I am gonna get ready to prepare my vegetables that's going into the polenta. My fish is cooking up nicely, just browning them off, and then I am also working on a vegetable. It's a bell pepper and onion sauce that I'm working on. I like to use vegetables to make my sauce where I know I'm getting all the nutrients from the vegetables and the sauce is delicious. So I have this vegetable sauce that I make, and that is working on right now. That's gonna be my brown sauce that will go over my brown steamed snapper. It's going to be delicious. Now it's time to work on these bell peppers. So guys, when do you make your meals? Like, when do you do most of your prepping for cooking? Is it on the weekends? Do you cook every day when you come home from work? How do you do it? Because I know for me it's hard, and I'm a chef. It's hard for me to come home after work and get in the kitchen and start cooking all over again. I teach culinary arts, so I don't want to be in the kitchen when I come home. But I'm also a nutritionist, and so having a healthy meal ready when I come home is super important. So preparation is key. I prep and cook most of my meals on a Sunday, and I cook enough so that I have things that will last me throughout the week. All right, so I gave my bell pepper a small dice. This is gonna go right into, it's gonna be sauteed first, and it's gonna be incorporated into my Tun Cornmeal, as the Italians say, polenta. Either way, it's delicious. I love it bad. It's something where I couldn't get tired of eating, but I can't eat too much of it because the polenta is the corn in the cornmeal, of course, the carbohydrate, and you know, the depend on the carb control eating plan. So I have to manage that. All right, onions, bell pepper, scallion of a boy, as well as some diced garlic. You know, I never cook without garlic. It has so many properties, so many micronutrients in it, phytochemicals. Garlic is a superfood in itself. It's a vasodilator. It helps to lower your blood pressure. It acts as an antibacterial. I can tell you so much about garlic, but let me tell you. So, veggies ready for polenta. Yeah, guys, so things are looking really, really good. My brown stew fish is finished. I'm going to show you how that came out. Really, really good. Look at that. Yeah, and I used a vegetable brown sauce made with bell pepper, onions, garlic, scallions. I'm gonna hit it with some green scallions, and that takes care of my brown stew fish. My asparagus, just gave them a light pan roast. Look at these babies. See how green they are? That's because I blanched them and then just give them a final finish for a few minutes, and those can go right on my platter. My vegetable is done, and the last thing I'm gonna work on to finish out this dish is my polenta, otherwise known as Tun Cornmeal in Jamaica. It's my favorite, one of my favorite dishes. I love this bite. So I'm gonna work on that. Right now, my vegetables are prepped. I'm gonna do the polenta in the same pan that I roasted the vegetables in. So grilled asparagus ready, brown stew done. Let me just show you my brown stew. Ooh, baby, this is gonna be some good stuff. I can turn the burner off on the fish because that's done. They're both finished. The asparagus is finished also, which is my vegetable that's gonna go along. And then the last thing I'm gonna work on is my star dish, which is my Tun Cornmeal polenta. Now, the key to making a really good polenta, I'm going to make today a creamy polenta. Let me go over my ingredients really quickly with you, what I'm putting into this bad boy. I did some diced vegetables of bell pepper, onion, scallion, the green of the scallion, and garlic. Then I have some grated cheddar, white sharp cheddar, and mixed with some mozzarella. My salt, pepper, my seasoning there. I have a little bit of butter, about 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna saute the vegetable in that. And then I have some coconut milk here. I love a creamy polenta, and I'm not using any dairy product. I'm going to use coconut milk and give it that island feel to it with a mix of Italian. I like fusing cuisines from different parts of the world with my own cultural cuisine. So it's gonna be a fusion cuisine. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of stock to flavor my broth, and I have my cornmeal, and it's a fine grained cornmeal. So we're ready to get started. First, I'm gonna melt my butter. Once the butter is melted, I'm going to add all the vegetables that I diced. You need to get yourself a really strong whisk. A rigid whisk works best because the key to have a nice creamy smooth polenta is that mixing action. You need to continuously mix it around as you're pouring in the liquid and the cornmeal. And I use a 2-to-1 ratio that gives me a nice creamy polenta. I don't like lumps in my polenta, which is why I use more of a different technique than traditionally Jamaican. Tun cornmeal sometimes tends to be a little bit lumpy, and I realized over the years and just through making this while I was in culinary school that it is the act of mixing the cornmeal and getting it nice and smooth so it doesn't make any lump. All right, so that's what I'm gonna do. So first things first, let's get this vegetable in my pan and let those sweat. And once those start sweating, I'm just gonna go right ahead and I have my coconut milk ready to go, my stock ready to go, my whisk for that stirring action. And then I am going to sprinkle some parsley at the end when the polenta is finished. Now I happen to have one of those handy hand tools to help instead of chopping. It's a parsley chopper, right? Or any herb you can put in it. So I use it for parsley, and it's gonna chop the parsley for me. Sometimes I just do it right over the dish. Yeah, and then I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of dry basil, and that's how this action is gonna go down. So this will cook really quickly, but you have to remember to continually stir it while it's cooking and allow the cornmeal to steam and swell to get you a delicious, creamy polenta. All right, so now it's time for me to add my cornmeal. I have all my seasoning. I have my broth, coconut milk, the bell peppers, onions, and scallions that I cut, sauteed those, then add the liquid and allow that to simmer for a little bit. And now I'm gonna add the cornmeal. I'm gonna cook about 2 cups of the cornmeal, and it's gonna swell and give a lot of polenta at the end. Now notice I'm gonna slowly add in the cornmeal, but as I'm adding the cornmeal, I am stirring. I'm gonna show you that action in a minute. I'm gonna take it off the stove, but I'm adding it and I am stirring it into the liquid. I want this to be nice and creamy. So I'm stirring this as I go along in a circular motion. And then I'm gonna lower my burner also because this cooks on a really low heat. So I'm gonna lower the burner to about low, medium, low. So at this point, the polenta looks like this. Yeah. And I am just, sometimes you may need to add a little bit more liquid to it. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Just gonna add some water. Sorry. Added a bit of salt. I'm gonna add a little bit more water to it to loosen it up a little bit. Like I said, I like it creamy. I don't like it to be lumpy. I like it either creamy, or if it's solid, then I can slice it and put it back on a grill and do a grilled polenta. Right? So this, yeah, nice and creamy. Polenta goes well with fish also because of that creamy texture, and a brown stew fish is really a nice, like a brown stew snapper is a nice complement for polenta. All right, so let's see where we're at with this. Nice and creamy. I'm gonna add in the cheese, allow this to cook, to steam, and voila, I'm gonna season a little bit of salt. I'm gonna add the cheese. Yeah, give it that nice creamy flavor, a little bit of smoked paprika, and that's it. Yeah. So listen guys, I thank you so much for watching. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Do come back. Remember to hit that subscribe, like, share button, turn on your notification, and join me again next Sunday in my kitchen with Food for Thought with Barbara Cooking-Diva. Lots of good information here on wellness and nutrition and all the other F's that come around in my life I share with you. So look, So I'm gonna put all the dishes out. That's a creamy polenta, my brown stew, yellowtail snapper. Look at that bad boy. Yeah. And I did that with some pan roasted asparagus. Dinner is gonna be delicious and nutritious. Thank you guys. Bye.